biggest mysteries in Subnautica 2 right now would be the exact location of the Cicada crash site. You know, the big old ship that we came in, the one that I animated for the lore video. You should go watch that, by the way. Now, the easy answer is that it's just not in the game yet. But there are some clues that might hint to where it's actually going to be in the game world in the final release of the game. So this video is going to be talking about that, as well as what we're probably going to have to do once we find the Cicada. Take a look at this terrible map that I made in MS Paint. I've gone ahead and circled every single wreck that we can find of the Cicada so far. And anywhere where it looks like there's a pattern, I drew a line. Now, there are wrecks everywhere in the Coral Gardens, but surprisingly, there's no wrecks here. I'm not going to say that this is the most reliable thing in the world, but if we were to guesstimate using the big wrecks, we could say that it went directly through this way. Or maybe this way, which would put it somewhere between us and Xanadu. Xanadu being the site below the tree. Alright, I'm right where the Cicada is going to be. Yeah, this is, about as good as you'd expect it to be. Using a bug, I was able to disable the fog, and as you can see, there's a lot of empty space here that will one day be filled with beautiful biomes and who knows what. But if I had to be honest, right here looks like the place that you'd find it. Look how flat it is, how open it is. Something is gonna be right here. I don't know what's gonna be there. No, I'm serious, I have no idea what's gonna be here. Also remember that all this terrain is just temporary. I highly doubt the final map is going to resemble anything like this, but this definitely does give great trench vibes. So if the Cicada landed between the Axum Ruin and the World Tree, one could assume it landed in the Great Trench. But we have to remember, the Cicada is so big. How's it going to fit in just a ravine? There's no way. And you know, we say that, and yet the Aurora landed on one of the only plateaus on the entire planet where there is life. So, you know, anything can happen at this point. If I had to imagine what it would look like, it'd be probably something like this. Or like this, if we're daring. I like to talk about what we'd actually have to do at the Cicada once we probably find it. If you watched my lore video, you know that the main NOAA is probably aboard the Cicada. It's called the Anu NOAA, the Administrative Nucleus Noetic Advisor. It's kinda like the big brain for all the other NOAAs. But remember, this ship is very large, probably Aurora-sized. And if it's anything like the Aurora, being that's made by Altera, it's probably causing radiation leaks. Kind of a weird theming with radiation in this game, huh? So you probably have to get one of those AEP suits, which are super cool looking, by the way. So you probably have to go inside, fix all the radiation, turn off NOAA. But I wonder... Now, this is going into theory crafting territory, so just bear with me, okay? Something I can't shake off my mind is when the Axum mentioned the day the daughter fell. Now, I'm not gonna start speculating anything too crazy here, but do you think the daughter is the Cicada? I mean, surely not, right? I mean, those colonists were printed right after the Cicada crashed in the Sleep Bay 3. And then, yeah, 30 years passed. But it could have been that long between those colonists printing and the Cicada crashing. Right? And the nuclear heart of the World Tree is dimming. Wait a minute. No, that can't be right. Because if the Cicada's drive core were to be damaged and leaking radiation, NOAA would probably need a new source of power. But what that source of power would... No, I'm not in denial because it's a dumb idea. I'm in denial because there's no fucking way. Look, everything I'm theorizing here is public information, I promise. And for those who have watched my Warframe videos, you'd know I accidentally guess things way too often. Okay, now this is gonna sound crazy. Cryptor slumber. Oh my god. So, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think the Cicada crashed here, or anywhere for that matter. I think we've been looking at it the whole time. I think I know where you are. There's just no way. I think Xanadu is the Cicada, or what's left of it. The cryptors that are slumbering are the other colonists in different sleep bays, ones that we haven't met yet. And the reason why the trees are dying might be because of the Cicada crashing right into it. But then why did the Cicada crash into it? It just raises more questions. Questions I don't think we're even ready to be asking yet. This isn't even mentioning the possibility of other sleep bays existing. But another thing to consider, but inside the Cicada is the rest of the quartz crystals. You know, the ones that store our memories. God, this story's so good. I haven't felt like this in years. Speculating about an unfinished story. It's some good stuff. It's some really good stuff. Fire users. Spy on the world tree at Xanadu. Zero year. The daughter fell from space. Study the erratic messenger. Aberrant Noah reports. Reports that the Noah is erratic. Erratic messenger. The Noah is erratic. No. It can't be.
Architects, we beg your aid. The world trees are dying. Their angels cry out to us. The trees' roots feed the world, and the world feeds the trees. Each requires other, as we require you. But the roots are rotting. The nuclear heart dims. There is hope. Cross the Great Trench to Xanadu. Find the Veps. The tree's genes may live in them. Find the Veps. Renew this tree. Beware. Cryptos slumber beneath the trees. They fear you. We leave them to your mercy.
The daughter fell from space and crash landed in Xanadu. Xanadu must have been their original city, their original civilization. And the nuclear heart of the world tree is dimming because something big is feeding off of it to keep itself turned on to complete a mission. Is that the direction the story is going? There's just no way to know for sure. I'm just speculating, of course. But think about it. The Cicada's definitely not in shallow waters, aside from the little wrecks. And funny enough, my very poorly drawn map kinda goes into the direction of the world tree. But let's say the Cicada did actually crash at Xanadu. You mean to tell me that there's a possibility this ship didn't crash 30 years ago, but much longer than that? And if that really is the case, then why didn't an architect come here? Considering, you know, Alan is still alive. There's a lot of things that are in favor of my theory, and a lot of things that don't favor my theory at all. So, again, take this whole theory with a grain of salt. But there's 3 possibilities that this can go with the Cicada. 1, we never get to find the Cicada, and that's the most boring outcome. 2, we do find the Cicada. Noah's running rampant, and there's a lot of environmental puzzles inside. Then we have to turn them off, make sure the radiation isn't leaking anymore, and then we go towards the world tree. Option 3 is that the world tree has a giant, huge piece of titanium just sticking out of it, and the Cicada is right in the nuclear heart, and Noah is feeding off of the nuclear heart to keep himself alive so that humanity's mission to stay alive can go forward. The story writer did incredible, if this is the kind of nudge they wanted to give us. But just, wow, if this is really how it's gonna go. I think this story is gonna be just incredible. We're gonna remember it for years, honestly. But again, there's a lot of inconsistencies, so just who knows what's gonna happen. I hope you like this video, and if you're new here, be sure to leave a sub. It would greatly help support the channel, and it's free. Please take care of yourselves, and so long, Pioneer. Also, I'm streaming today, so make sure you stop by. Bye-bye now.